All right, good afternoon. All right, we'll go ahead and get started just in a seat. So go ahead and cross those legs. Let's bring those hands to the knees. Let's do a few shoulder rolls to start. So just as big or as small as you would like. Roll those shoulders back. And let's go forward with it. And now roll those shoulders down and back. Sit up nice and tall. Lengthen out through the neck. We'll drop that left ear to that left shoulder. Think about pulling that right shoulder back a little bit more. Inhale, bring it back up and over to that other side. So again, pulling that left shoulder back just slightly. Inhale, bring that head up to neutral and then bring that chin to the chest. And then lift that head back up again. We'll go left ear to the left shoulder. Maybe look up just slightly. And then we'll bring that gaze down towards that left knee. And inhale, bring that gaze up. And down towards that knee. Gazing up just slightly. And look down at that knee. Yeah, now looking straight forward, then lift that head up. Then we'll go to the other side. You can start to look up. And bring that gaze to that right knee. Gotta bring it up. And down. One more time each way. Looking up. And bring that gaze down. Good. Look forward. And then lift that head up. Again, we'll tuck that chin to the chest. I think about pulling that neck back just a little bit. So still bring that chin down. You can kind of roll it forward. And then almost like we're rolling it back up. So it's a little different. Stretch. Or moving that stretch throughout the portions of that neck. Keeping those shoulders back though as we do this. And then we'll lift that head all the way up just one time. Tuck the chin. Lift that head up. And bring it back to neutral, reaching those arms up. And then we'll twist it over to that right side. Sit tall on that inhale, exhale, a little deeper twist. And we'll go center, and we'll go over to that left side. And bring it back to center. Come onto the hands and knees. Some cat cows, loosening up that spine. Inhale, drop that belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And round. Inhale, lift. And round. Bring it back to neutral. So step those feet back to that plank. Let's hold this plank, core nice and tight. Pushing the shoulder blades away and then pull that chest forward. We're gonna do some mountain climbers. Let's bring that right knee to the chest. Inhale it back out. Left knee pulls in and back up. So let's go 10, 9, slow and controlled, 8, 7, 6. Keep those shoulders over the wrists. 5, 4, 3. Hips stay down. 2, and 1. Now lower those knees down. We're going to keep those ankle bones pointing straight up. Outside edges of those feet are nice and parallel to each other. We'll send those hips back to the heels. You can keep the hands on the ground so it takes a little bit of the weight off of the toes. We can walk those hands up. So shoulders are down and back, sitting tall. Core stays nice and tight. Got a few more breaths. And then come back to those hands, just gently tapping those feet, wiggling those toes, circling those ankles. And then go ahead and step it back to a plank. Lift those hips up to the sky, that down dog. So press the heels down, press those hips up. Maybe pedal out those feet, sway those hips. And then inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet top of the mat. Bring those hands to the shins, half lift. And slide those hands down as we fold. Let it just kind of hang heavy, maybe sway from side to side. And then we'll bend into those knees, flatten out that back. Let's rise to standing, reach it up really tall. Interlacing those fingers, bring those palms to face up, holding those arms back a little more as we draw that rib cage down. And let's bend it over to the right side. And back up to that left side. Bring it back up. We'll interlace those fingers behind the back, pull the knuckles down, and then hands come away from those hips. Reaching those arms back up, flat back as we fold. You can bring those hands up to the shins, and then just let that torso hang nice and heavy. Maybe give it that little sway from side to side. Maybe shake the head yes, shake the head no, releasing any tension in that neck. And then bend into those knees, flatten out that back. Let's come up to standing, reach up tall, interlace those fingers, point those palms up first, ribcage down, arms back, side bend to the right, and up to the left. Inhale it back up, interlace those fingers behind the back, open up that chest. And release those arms up, flat back as we fold. Hands to the shins, half lift. Good, and fold this time, plant those hands. Let's step those feet back to that plank. Now let's go into those mountain climbers. So knee in at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that plank. Then bring those hips up, heels down. And then come onto those toes. And those knees, stepping those feet up. Flatten out that back. And fold. Rise up. Interlace those fingers, bring the palms up, rib cage down, side bend to the right. Back up to the left. Back up, interlace those fingers behind the back, open that chest. Release those arms up as we fold. And flatten it out. And then plant those hands, stepping those feet back to our plank. Those 10 mountain climbers. Let's go right knee in. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plank. Hold it here. Good. Shift it forward. Lower all the way down to the stomach. Point those toes, roll those shoulders down and back, lifting through that chest. We can go into that cobra, or maybe you press it up into that up dog. Get really active in those hands. So push into the hands, pull the shoulders away. Like you're trying to lengthen out that spine. And then exhale, let's send those hips back to the heels into that child's pose. You can bring those knees out maybe a little bit wider. Rest that head down. Relaxing that chest down to the mat. And then come back onto those hands and knees. Step it back to plank. And bring those hips up to down dog. And then we'll step those feet behind the hands. And then go ahead and come on up to standing. Turning the toes out, heels in. We're going to do a few squats. So sit those hips down, press those knees out. And then bring it back up, standing all the way up. So core tight, butt is tight. Drop it back down. Back up and down. Back up. Down. Let's do two more. Up, down, up, and down here. Now send that right hand down to the ground. Left arm twists up. Other side, left hand down, right arm reaches up. And then bring those hands, heart center, press those elbows into the knees, lifting through that chest. And then lower those hands down, straighten those legs, bring those feet parallel to each other. And then inhale, let's come up to standing. Okay. Hands to the hips. Okay. We're gonna bring that weight into that right foot, pull that left knee. Ooh, find that balance first. Pull that left knee way up high into the chest, flexing that foot. Really strong through that standing leg. And notice if you're leaning back, pull that rib cage down tight through that core. Lifting that knee up maybe a little bit higher. And then take that big step back. We are flexing through that hip flex. Now we're going to stretch it out. So core tight, bend into that front knee, feeling that stretch all along that left hip flexor. And then we'll bring those arms up, side bend. So right hand hooks behind the back, left arm reaches up and over. And then bring those arms back up. Hold it here, maybe bend a little bit deeper into that knee. Now hands come to heart center. We're gonna do more balance. So weight into that right foot, draw that left knee up into the chest, cross that ankle over, and then sink the hips back. So into that figure four. Think lifting through the tailbone as we sink the hips down a little bit lower. And then come on up, uncross it, plant that foot down. We're gonna bring that right knee to the chest, flex that foot, core tight, shoulders down and back. And take that big step back with that right leg. Reaching those arms up, bend into that front knee. Relax through those shoulders. Let's find that side bend. So left hand lowers down, right arm reaches up and over. And bring both arms back up. Hold it here for another breath. And now hands come to heart center. Weight into that left foot, right knee to the chest. Cross that ankle over. Sit the hips down, flexing that foot. Breathe. And then going, come on up. Going uncross that leg, lower it down, reach the arms up, and then flat back as we fold. And now release it down, just let that head hang. Maybe a little bit more rounding the spine if that feels okay on your low back. If you're having any pain, shift a little bit more weight back into the heels, dig those toes in, and then bring those hands up a little bit higher. So we're putting more of that load into our glutes and our hamstrings and not into that low back. Good, now heel to walk those feet out a little bit wider. Rise on up, hands to heart center. Drop those hips down into that squat. Press up out of it. Drop down. Back up. Last time, lower down and hold. Right hand lowers down, left arm reaches up. And switch sides. And bring those hands to heart center. Press the knees out, chest lifts. And straighten those legs. Bring those feet parallel to each other as we fold. Go ahead and rise on up. Again, hands to the hips. Just pull that left knee up to the chest. Lift it up as high as you can. Tight through the core, strong through that standing leg, gripping those right toes into the mat. Then we'll take that big step back and into that lunge. Bend to that front knee. Then we'll reach left or right hand behind the back. Left arm reaches up and over. Inhale. Reach those arms up. Bend to that front knee a little more. Hands come to heart center. Drive that knee up to the chest. Cross that ankle over. Sink those hips back. And then rise on up. Switch it. Go ahead and bring that right knee to that chest. Send that foot back. Arms reach up. Then side stretch. Left hand down. Right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, reach those arms back up. Hands come to heart center. Drive that right knee to the chest. Cross that ankle over. Sink the hips down. And inhale, bring it back up. Uncross it, lower that foot down. Arms reaching up, hips press forward, and then flat back fold. And now let's plant those hands. Step it back to our plank. Let's hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Weight shifts forward, lower down, point the toes, roll the shoulders down and back as we lift up into that up dog. And exhaling those hips back into that child's pose. And come on to those hands and knees. Step it back to our down dog. Bring that right knee to that right wrist. Foot comes across. Sliding that left leg back. And lower onto those forearms. And you can rest that head down. Big stretch that right outer hip. So press the right shin down and back. Left knee pulls forward. And then come back onto the hands. Step it back to down dog. And then let's go the other side. Left knee to the left wrist. Foot comes across. Right leg slides back. Then lower onto the forearms. When you're ready, rest that head down. Just a few breaths here. One more active. Right knee forward, left shin back. And let's come back onto those hands. Send it back to that down dog. One more breath here. And go ahead and lower onto the knees. Come to a seat. Go ahead and cross those legs. Sitting nice and tall. Hands are on those knees. Close down those eyes. Big breath in through the nose. And out through the nose. 2 more times. Big, big breath in. And exhale. Last one. And out. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great Friday. And then there is 4:30 body weight HIIT class this afternoon. And then yoga tomorrow, 9:30. All right. Thank you.